Next thing I'm going to do is I'm taking this bracket off. I just took this bolt out from here that holds the motor on because I want to cut this bracket off and get rid of all this excess that I don't need anymore. So I want to go ahead and take it off, trim it up, clean it up, and then we'll mount it back up and do the same thing on the other side to get rid of this bracketry that we don't need anymore. Alright, so cut the bracket off, get rid of that excess. I'm going to leave this bracket here because I might use that something for mounting this bottle up, but went ahead and cut it off, spray painted it, put it back on. Now I'm going to do the other side. Okay, on this side it has a much larger bracket, so I'm going to definitely have to trim that off a little bit different. So I'm going to get a look in here and see how I'm going to do it, and take this one off and do the same thing. Alright, so here's the bracket after cutting everything off of it. I tried to grind it down but keep as much strength in this bracket as possible. So, or I should say to not interfere with any of the strength. I just cut the excess stuff off that held the fairing on. So now I'm going to put it back on. Okay, now here's the bracket. As you can see, you can't see it. And that is the whole point of this. So now the mounting bracket's back on to hold the motor mount on, but you don't see all that extra bracketry hanging out there. So much nicer, looks a lot cleaner on this side now, getting rid of that. Alright, so now I'm going to try to remove some of these brackets that I don't need, and so I'm going to try to cut this off here and then back here. I don't need this anymore, and I don't like the way it looks on there. So I'm going to try to remove those and see if we can make it look a little cleaner. Alright, so I detabbed here and here. So I got rid of that bracket. Still trying to finish cutting the tabs off of this. I cut the tabs off here and up here. And I'm going to sand these rough edges down. And I did the same on the other side. I still have to figure out if I'm going to cut these tabs off, if I'm going to go with a different type of bottle here, or just leave this. I'm not sure yet, so these are probably going to be the last tabs I'm going to cut off. But what I'm working on also is a little cover back here. So when I got this bike, it was missing this piece back here on the back part of the fairing. I'm going to keep this part of the fairing. So I cut this little cardboard piece just to kind of fit in to use as a template, and it's hard to take out with one hand, but yeah, just a little cardboard piece. I'm going to try to cut this out of some thin aluminum that I have, and hopefully it'll fit in there tight, and then I'll drill some holes here and just have it where it can kind of bolt in there, maybe with some spacers, just so it stays in place. And hopefully it will look okay. And what I was saying is hopefully these will fit in, this can fit in here, and you know, it pops, there's a little groove underneath this tail light. I can pop it under that little groove to kind of hold the back down, and need to do a little more trimming over here, but hopefully have this where it will cover this piece, and once it's painted, not look too bad. Doing this on a budget, so trying to make what I can myself. I went out today and picked up some paint. I'm going to use this Duplicolor paint, and I'm just testing it right now with the primer that I was going to use, make sure we don't have any reaction to it, and then also to kind of see if I like this color. I've kind of gone with a extreme pearl finish here, so we're going to see how that looks on the clear on this white that I sprayed on, and just want to kind of see how it looks, see if I like it for the tank. And then I also had them mix up some paint, which will hopefully match the frame pretty close. So so I'm going to work on that, and the next thing I'm probably going to do is pull the swing arm off and clean that swing arm up, get it ready to paint. So that's going to be the next major thing. Problem is it's cold, it's winter here, so it would be hard to heat up the garage enough to paint this stuff, but that might be what we have to do. I'm going to try to get everything ready so everything's ready to go one shot, can paint everything at one time. Alright, so I made up a little plate out of aluminum. It doesn't fit perfect, but you know, it is what it is back here. So I'm going to paint it along with the fairing side pieces in the tank, and I'm going to trim it up a little bit, make it fit a little bit neater. But so it's just a little scrap piece of aluminum that I use just to fit in there and cover that up a little bit. I think once it's painted it'll look okay. Alright guys, I know from this angle and what you can see, this doesn't do it justice, but I think the swing arm looks amazing with getting everything back on it. So I think it looks really, really nice. I can't wait to do the frame. I was kind of disappointed in a way when the swing arm came out looking so nice. I was like, oh great, now I'm going to have to paint the whole frame. But if the whole frame comes out and looks as nice as this swing arm, I'll be okay with that. So what I'm going to have to do now, I'm not going to put the chain on now because I made a silly mistake. I forgot to put the chain guard on before I put the swing arm on the bike. So I'm going to have to take off the left side foot controls or foot pegs to be able to get to put that swing arm protector back on, and I can't do that right now. So we're going to just move on to getting the front wheel off the ground. I know it's hard to see everything with all this plastic and tape all over everything right now. I apologize, but I got to get the front wheel off and see what I'm going to do about painting those front fork tubes and the front area, since I have to paint pretty much the whole frame now. So gonna work on that next. Alright guys, so I have it all taped off, what I'm gonna do, and so now I'm going to prime it all and then start the painting process. So I think I've got it taped off about as good as I can get it, to hopefully keep paint and everything off. Oh, I do see a piece there I need to tape up. So I'll probably not record much during this process, so maybe I'll come back after I have it primed and let you see what it looks like. Alright guys, got the bike all primed. Hope you can hear me okay. I've got a respirator on. So got it primed, so now I'm going to start spraying some color on it. I already sprayed this part here that goes on top of the handlebars. Came out looking good, so now we're going to keep going. Alright guys, so here's what the paint looks like after it's cured. It's dried out a little bit overnight, so I'm going to take all the plastic off and let's see how this frame looks. Alright guys, so I'm starting to put things back together. I put on the front calipers. I think these were torqued to, I believe it's 25 foot-pounds. Put in the front axle. That was torqued to 80 foot-pounds. Put on the pinch bolt. That was torqued to 25 foot-pounds. So I've got both calipers on and the front axle bolts on. So I'm just going to start reassembling things. Probably start here at the front wheel. Not sure if I'm going to put the fender on yet, but just getting the tape off of everything, getting everything cleaned up and put back on. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to go ahead and put these little collar pieces back on here and get those lined up and start getting ready to put the front headlight back on and start getting things slowly put back together. Like I said, I'm real happy with the way the paint came out, and the clear, I think it looks great. I wasn't going to clear this frame, but then after I saw the rear swing arm, how well that came out, I went ahead and I was like, yeah, I'm going to clear this frame. This paint just, it looks really good. I'm real happy with it. So I'm going to start getting the front end back on, and then probably do the chain and things next, and then just do some little maintenance items like getting the new hose for this before I put the tank back on, and you know, just getting some of the little items back on to get all this tape off, and start putting this bike back together. I think it's coming along really well, and hopefully we'll continue to have some warm days. Maybe I can get it out, clean the front wheels up really good, and the rear wheel, they're still really dirty, but it's been so cold here. Luckily we've had a break here the last couple days, but it's just been too cold to do that kind of thing. Then I got to decide what I'm going to do with this. This spring looks pretty rough compared to what the paint does. The color doesn't match at all, and I did the best I could on matching this color in the book, but yeah, it just didn't match at all. That's what happens sometimes when you mix paint and try to match a color. It just, you know, from being faded or what have you, it just doesn't match. So, which is fine. I like this color. I'm happy with it. And so we're going to try to get everything else back on, get ready to put the tank and the fenders and all the plastics back on so we can see what this bike looks like done. Alright guys, I'm deciding to put the decals on now on the bike. I got the first Kawasaki decal on the right side here. So now I got to figure out where I want to put the 650. I got these decals off of SD. Someone had them listed on there. They seem like real good quality decals, and I think they were like 12 bucks for the whole set of decals. And but I'm not going to need them all because I'm only going to use a few. But you know, we'll figure out where we can put them. I think it gives the tank a lot better look with the decals on it. So now I'm going to figure out where to put the 650 back here on the back. I'm thinking right about here. I would like to put it back here a little bit, but I don't think it would look as good back here. Okay guys, something happened with my video, and I lost the remaining video of the paint job, so I just thought I'd go back over and kind of show you what we have here on the bike. The bike's on its stand in the garage, so I'm just going to do a real quick kind of walkthrough. After the painting, we had here's the tank with the decals on it. Got a little tank protector on it, and here's the paint on the frame. It came out really good. I really like it. I have not got to the shock yet. That is still one thing I'm gonna have to paint that spring, but the rest of the bike came out really well. There's the placement of the rear decal, and it's kind of what I was showing in the last part of the video. So this is probably going to finish it up on the paint on this build. I hope you like it. Please like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, feel free to hit the comments, and please share the videos if you know someone else who's thinking about building one of these bikes. And I will have more to come on this, and a ride video later on, and also a video on this cool seat cover. So those videos are still to come, but like I said, I lost the video of the rest of the decals and the paint on this, so I'm going to add this at the end. But you're getting a sneak peek at the finished product and what the bike looks like now. Thanks again for watching.